Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Washkins here, back with another video. Today, I know it's shocking, we're going to be talking about the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. And I wanted to delve a little bit into more detail about my story and why I'm choosing to live this lifestyle and my experience so far. I went to the doctor about 4 months ago and he told me my cholesterol was high. And he also told me I was 364 pounds. And I knew I was a big guy. I'm 5'11". I knew I was a big guy, but 364 pounds kind of blew me away. I was like, whoa. And my cholesterol was high. But really, I was more concerned about my cholesterol. I knew I was big. My cholesterol was what scared me. I thought about my children. I have 2 kids. I'm a single parent. And I thought about them in the future and my future with them. And I was like, man, I got to do something. I've got to change something, or I'm going to be diabetic, or I mean, there's a million other health risks that come with being obese and having high cholesterol. So it scared me. So the doctor told me one thing, and he said, luckily for you, you're young, you have the rest of your life to change. And I was like, man, he's right. You know, I was so depressed, and I'd been through a separation, and a million other big bags of baggage I was carrying around with me, boo-hoo for me, up until that point. As soon as he told me that, I went home that day and I threw out all the bread, the sugars, the sodas, the chips, threw it all out, and I decided to change my life. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I decided to do it. So I started with a low-carb diet, and 2 weeks into that, I found the ketogenic diet online. And I thought to myself, what do I have to lose? Why not? It sounds crazy, eat fat, lose weight, you know. But I was already doing low carb, so why not? So I did it. And I saw some good results. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, yay, you know, I'm losing weight. 2 weeks after that, I found fasting, intermittent fasting. And a friend of mine had suggested I fasted like years ago. And I was like, dude, that sounds crazy. Why would I like not eat? You're supposed to eat like 6 times a day, bro. Because I had never done the research on it. But he knew what he was talking about. So I started fasting, and I really started seeing some results. I started fasting, and I started doing. My eating window was from 12 to 6, so I started from 12 to 6. Then I bumped it. I did that for about maybe 2 weeks, and then I moved down to a 4-hour window, 12 to 4. I did that for about 2 weeks, and then I went down to from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and I did that for about a month. And I was seeing really good results. And then I started doing research on OMAD, 1 meal a day. And I was like, well, why not just stretch it out? I mean, I'm already doing this. A lot of times I'm eating my second meal, I'm barely even hungry. So I went to 1 meal a day. And I've been doing that for the majority of my weight loss. And I have seen incredible results. I lose on an average 17 to 20 pounds a month doing this. And I am not eating 1,000 calories, folks. I'm still eating around 2,000, sometimes higher than 2,000 calories a meal. And through the fasting, I have trained my body. I'm only able to eat this much food in 1 meal, and do it. It's because I kind of trained myself through my fasting regimen that I've led up to this. Okay, some people it's not for them, and I understand that. 1 meal a day is asking a lot for some people. Some people, I mean, it just doesn't fit their schedule, or they can't get their macros in, or whatever the situation is. Ketogenic diet is a very personal thing. The rules are simple, right? Cut out the sugars, cut out the carbs, increase the proteins and fats, and you'll lose weight, right? But everybody's body's different. So what works for me might not work for you, or vice versa. What works for you might not work for me. So through this journey, I've had to discover, through trial and error, how I implement my ketogenic diet and my fasting regimen to get the maximum amount of weight loss and health benefits. Because there's more health benefits than just weight loss. Your skin's better. There's autophagy. I mean, there's a slew of health benefits to fasting and doing keto. But my macros have changed since the beginning, and they've changed lots of times. And so has my calorie intake, and so has my fasting. So it's kind of, you got to figure out what works for you when you're doing this diet. There's no one way to do it. There's rules to it. but to each person has to find out what works for them and their body type and their metabolism, and there's a lot of other factors. So basically, you just got to try it out, guys. But I found out what's worked for me. I started this extended water fast, and I lost 13 pounds when I did it. And by the end of it all, I was and I did this for 1 week. The videos are in the description. I don't suggest you do that at all. See a doctor. I don't suggest you do it, okay? But I wanted to do it and document it and see how I affected, because I was experienced in fasting, and I didn't have any pre-existing condition except for a little bit of high cholesterol. But anyway, that's all in the videos in my playlist if you want to check that out. But I weighed 294 by the end of that. And so that's 70 pounds down, and I was 3.5 months into my ketogenic journey. It's a lot of weight. When I started eating again, or refeeding or whatever it's called, I gained about 4 pounds back, so I was 294. And for the last 2 weeks, I've been fighting these 4 pounds. I went up to 298. And I've been at 298, 299, 297. And I've just been up and down in this window for the last 2 weeks. So I recently joined a forum on Facebook, a community of people that also exercise ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. And someone suggested to me that I increase my proteins. So I did, and I'm back down to 294. So I'm back down to my 70 pounds lost. And it's not water weight this time. It's fats. It's not coming back. And so really, man, I really mean it. You find out what works for you, right? And it might change, right? But don't sit there and, my problem is I was staring at that scale and I was letting it beat me up. You can't do that. The scale's your enemy a lot of times, because one day you weigh this, and then the next morning you wake up, you're dropped 3-4 pounds, and you're just so frustrated the day before that, because it happens when you do the ketogenic diet. It's called the swoosh effect, and that's exactly what happened to me. Last night I was 297, right? This morning I woke up 294, just like that. And it's just how the body takes care of and gets rid of that fat. It fills up the fat cells while it's depleting the fat with water, and then once it's depleted, it all goes away. And so and it happens to me probably once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It just happens. I won't lose weight for a few days, and then boom, I'll lose weight. And it's just something I've come accustomed to. So don't rely on the scale. Measure your inches if you want to measure anything, but just stick to the diet. Stick to what you're doing. If it's working, that means it's working. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged. Keep going, right? If you mess up, if you have a cookie or something like that, I'm not saying you should do that. Stay away from sugars. Sugar is poison. But don't be afraid to get... It's not over, guys. Your destiny is in your hands. And when you learn the ketogenic diet and what intermittent fasting, the power that it holds, you can control your health and your life. And that's what I'm doing. I'm never giving up. I will do keto for the rest of my life. Now, whether I'm going to do OMAD, I doubt it. When I get to my goals for 200 pounds, I got 90 pounds to lose, then I might go back to 2 meals, 3 meals a day. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But as for now, I'm just going to stick to it. And every day I wake up and I commit myself to this lifestyle. And that's it. I just got to get through one day. And by the time I go to bed, after I eat my meal, I'm happy. I started working out. I suggest exercise. If you're doing the ketogenic and intermittent fasting, do exercise. Because you're not just here for your weight loss, you're here for health. And exercise is a very healthy thing to do, guys. There's tons of benefits. You all know them. But anyway, I'm on my way, guys. Intermittent fasting and keto has changed my life, changed my perspective, changed the control that I have over my body and my future as an adult and as a father to my children. And I can't express to you enough how grateful I am that I've found this way of life, and that I am now involved in communities of people that also enjoy this way of life, and they're supportive and have information, and it's just amazing. It's amazing, guys. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Just wanted to go over what's going on, my experience. And, I don't always just make food videos. I make videos. Whatever I want to do, I just make a video. I will be posting more videos. Follow me. Like the video if you enjoyed the content. Leave a comment if you have any questions about me, and I'll respond to you. I think that's all I got. One more thing. Wait. Oh yeah, I love you all. And Washkins out of here.